Hey everyone, it's Evan Kirstel here. Today I have a fantastic guest and one of my favorite topics around the future of enterprise communications and collaboration. Ian Skolnick, CEO and founder of Braidio. Welcome.
Thanks, Evan. I appreciate you having us so much too.
Yeah, and I'm excited to have you here. We've spoken several times, but our audience might be new to Braidio. Maybe introduce yourself, your intriguing background, and who is Braidio? What are you guys all about?
Sure. I'm Ian Skolnick. I'm the CEO of Braidio, which we founded a few years back and then found our legs. Braidio, what we do is in the name. It's Braidio. So what it stands for: business resources, activity, intelligence, data, input and output. And we braid it together. And all that means is we use orchestration. It's a fancy Silicon Valley term for we thread things together. So things aren't fragmented. Your communications, your chats, your conversations, your data, your solutions, your history of your conversations, all of it gets threaded together into one experience. So you get an outcome, a customer outcome in this case. And Braidio focuses on that. It focuses on the customer outcome. We know there's tremendous technology, mobile technology, great communication services like Uber, which you're using something, which use communication APIs. There's Excel, there's all these different services, but you have to put it all together into a solution. And that's where Braidio comes in. We create something called an engagement solution, an engagement context. And that engagement is critical to successful revenues, growth, and dealing with your customers. And Braidio does that. We braid everything together for that customer's experience.
That is fantastic because my life is completely fragmented. I've got multiple messaging apps, multiple services, multiple video apps. I've got one of everything, which makes communication with collaborators, contractors, employees, and
Yeah,
customers completely overwhelming, if I'm admitting to that. And so, how does this change the paradigm for small business owners like me
sure.
right into SMEs?
Sure. Look, if you're a big company like Oracle or Microsoft or GE, Caterpillar, you have resources, you have dollars to spend, you have staff, you have IT departments. But it changes. Anything under 1,000 people or 500 people, you need to be smart and agile. And you're constantly dealing with customers, but you're also backfilling a solution set, which tends to be fragmented. So you got solutions for Excel, communications like email, but then you also have to track it, know when it's happening, what's the history of the conversation. So it's fragmented, just is by nature. So what Braidio did is it created what we call, it's called Leia. It's just a small business essentials. It's like a landing page, and you come in, you can schedule, you can have a communication like we're having right now, a live chat, a regular chat, just with text, a video chat. You can have a history of your notes, and it'll talk to your QuickBooks account, or talk to your Salesforce. It allows you a ability to have a point of engagement with your customers, and it's very, very inexpensive. So we've pulled together things like like I said, we put together like Skype, or like if you use I don't know if people use Skype anymore. We pulled together your communications model, right? Your video chat. We pulled together your CRM, your Salesforce. You pulled together your QuickBooks. But the other thing we did was we built you a unique experience, a unique landing page in less than 90 seconds. So stop and think about that. It's like having a developer on your shoulder. So you might be familiar with a product called Wix, where you can go in and build a website. Well, we let you do that in 90 seconds. We use AI to do it. It's incredibly unique. And you can redo it and redo it until you find the site you like. You can use your personalized images, put your own text in there. It becomes your customer engagement page or customer experience landing page for your customers. And from there, they can schedule a call. So scheduling is really important because, saying I want to have a call, then you have to do it by hand. Now you can pick a calendar and then schedule it when you want. Then the call clicks on, you get a notice in the email or text, and you and I can start talking. It's all done automatically. And then you can get a history of what you've said, and it can go back to QuickBooks. It can go back to Salesforce. So effectively, you've got this ability to start controlling your own destiny around your customers. What we found is that we work with mobile carriers like AT&T, and in Europe we work with Vonage. You might know them, Vonage Ericsson now, because we've just been acquired. And we also work with a big
Yeah.
company called E&, which sounds funny, but it used to be called Etisalat. It's the AT&T of that part of the world. It's massive. It's actually a bit more customer based than AT&T. And all of those have small business customers. What people don't realize is 90% of the global economy is small business, small to medium-sized enterprise. And the problem with that is that it's fragmented. But when you partner with mobile carriers like AT&T, you can pull them all together and you have a huge market. And that's what Braidio realized. But we did the hard lifting around Leia, around Braidio Essentials. What we did was we realized that if we could pool some services or braid some services together, like scheduling, like chat, like conversation, like an ability to create a website automatically, or web presence as we call it, because this is a mobile web presence or a desktop presence. And to do it in less than 90, actually, frankly, it could be less than 10 seconds. It's so cool to see. What happens is you have a level playing field. And that's the critical thing here. I can be a real estate agent. I can be an insurance agent. I can be a retail store. I could be a restaurant. And I could have a landing page. In the EAN part of the world, in the Middle East, Africa, Asia, Europe, they love WhatsApp, so we integrated that. This part of the world, they want AT&T and they want other kinds of services like QuickBooks, and we can integrate that because we braid it all in. So what we have now is the ability to have different types of versions of what you're looking at right now for different marketplaces. One for insurance, one for real estate, one for AT&T versus one for Europe. And it's just a very quick change for us, but it gives everyone in this SME world, the small business, medium-sized business world, the ability to go and compete on a level playing field. So that was a big mouthful, and I hope that made a lot of sense to you, Adam.
It did, and I love the idea of supercharging both productivity and customer experience, customer service, because you come at it from both ends. It's not just for internal employee engagement, but customer engagement. That's a lot to tackle. I mean, big companies, big enterprises have entire departments for this kind of thing. How do you do this for that small business, that SME, who doesn't have a CIO and an entire team of IT people?
I think that's a great question. Actually, I think, the thing about tech, if you use too much tech, it gets in the way, but when the tech clicks, you go, oh, I get it. And then it's fun. It's like your concierge, right? So we spend a lot of time just how do you minimize the experience, but maximize the outcome, right? And so, you can use Apple as a use case, but it's just good design. And it's also doing what we're doing. I mean, you got to watch people when they try your betas and your alphas. When you watch them go, then okay, let's not do that. Let's go do something else. And so we design it and we spend a lot of time iterating it. And then it's, small, medium-sized business sounds great. It's like a catch-all. It's like the old term cyber. Actually, you could be in small business for insurance, small to medium-sized business for HVAC, small to medium-sized business for retail. They're distinct flavors to small to medium-sized business. And we've started to address those. So it's not just one app fits all. It's,
so you're actually bridging the gap, and there's been a lot of data about how our economy is powered by small businesses, and they're underserved, they're underutilizing technology. There are many verticals, from your pet care provider to local dentists and doctors' offices who we all experience that poor kind of customer experience because they haven't adopted technology in the way they could. Tell us about bridging that gap. You've done some interesting research actually on this with 451 and Accenture and others. What's the data? What's the landscape
People
look like?
want to be, businesses, about 76% of them feel that they're not competitive. They want to be as competitive or better than their companies. They want confidence, but they want to do it without feeling overwhelmed, right? And they want it. There's something we use internally a lot, a term, they want context. Look, everyone knows how to use tech. Most people do. You do. You can even deal with the fragmentation. But what you're looking for is a customer outcome. You're looking for success with your customers, and you're looking to be confident about that. And that's a very different kind of dialogue you're having than with a technology. You're no longer having a technology discussion. You're having a customer discussion. And so when we build a solution, it's got to be contextual for whether I'm a dentist or a veterinarian, which we offer, or a pet owner, which we offer, or an insurance group, which we offer, or just an insurance employee. And each of those have different little tweaks to our interface, just things from a quote engine to a medical record. And those are easy for us to braid in. And then you have context. And at that point, now it comes down to, are you good at your job? Can you engage with your customers? You know what? Most people can. And they just want that ability to be able to do it and cope with the engagement speed, which is the modern economy right now. So what we do is we level that playing field so they can go engage their customers without a lot of noise, a lot of fragmentation, and give them that confidence that they need. And a lot of customers don't have that confidence. It's not that they don't know how to sell their business. It's how to engage with their business with the customers in today's modern stream. It's a fast stream, and this gives them that ability. It's just good design. It's good context about what you do for a living. And you know what? We don't talk about price a lot, but it's very economical. We're here to make it economical. People are willing to pay a good price, especially since we've bundled all these services together, from ability to create a web experience to communications to scheduling. And we put it all under one price point. So you don't have to buy 3 different services. You can just buy one. So there you go.
And tell us how you reach this vast audience of small and medium-sized enterprises. It's not easy to sell, market, service them, and you kind of have an innovative approach, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I think you probably tapped at the core of Braidio. I mean, if you want to know as strategically, you have one of these. I do.
Oh yeah, only 5 of them. Yes, but yes,
Yeah.
1 or 2 or
Right.
5. Yeah.
So everyone does, whether you're SME or whether you're enterprise, you're a user and you have a phone. If you partner with carriers, see, small business, medium-sized enterprise is fragmented. It's what they call an island, and there's millions of them. And big enterprise is always, business has always stayed away from small, because you're going to get killed by that fragmentation. It's because it's difficult to address them. But if you go through this, we all have a mobile phone and we can aggregate them. And so what we realized with our partners, AT&T and Vonage Ericsson, and I call it Vonage Ericsson because it was literally just announced on Friday, and EAND, we can now throw a net over small businesses, but not just a small business. We know the phone, we know the actual phone they're using, but what kind of business they're in, what they do, and we can offer them a bundle of what kind of services they would need specific for their context. So if you're in retail, you'll get a version of Leia that's SMB Essentials that ties to what you're doing. And so the ability to partner with a carrier, or tells you my age, but a mobile service provider or communication service provider is the catchy term. The minute to partner with them, to give them services, you trust AT&T, you know that brand, you're assured by the brand, they have a hell of a network. If I'm getting services from them, then I know, okay, this is a trusted service. And that's how we've done it. We partner with carriers. We've got a huge vested interest in providing services to their customer base. They don't want to lose them to the Silicon Valley or some smart upstart. They want to provide cool services, and we're doing that with the carriers. And that's how we've expanded Braidio. It's been very, very effective. We found ourselves, if you will. We have very cool tech. We're that technology company you read about or hear about in HBO, the Silicon Valley. But who cares? What you got to do is you got to address the small businesses' needs, their customers, what they're concerned about, and who they work with. And it just was a no-brainer to work with carriers. And that's where we're at. That's how we aggregated small businesses.
And you're doing that not just here in the U.S. with partners like AT&T, but you're quite a global traveler, global citizen. You're doing it in some interesting places outside the U.S. Tell us more.
You're right. You're getting traction when you get asked to come to Dubai, and that's where we went. And it's called EAND, which sounds like Ian, but it had nothing to do with me. But EAND the old name was Etisalat, and Etisalat, and now it's Etisalat and so they just changed it to EAND. And it's a massive firm. It's an investment technology firm, and it's also a mobile service provider, a carrier. And they're in something like 20 plus countries, and they're rolling out Braidio, what you see right now, to their customer base. We've integrated WhatsApp into it. But if you think about our part of the world, in North America, small business inside enterprise is probably 90%. In that part of the world, it's 99%. They don't have an enterprise solution set. So this is ideal for them. This is why they adopted us. What's also happened is Vonage. I'm sure you know Vonage, and they were recently acquired. As I said, they were acquired last year, but it got finalized officially by all governments, etc., on Friday. And Vonage has 1,600 communication service providers, and they also are looking for solutions. So suddenly, out of in the last year, we've seen our business explode because we've addressed this model. We've addressed this idea of working with small business. What the world's realized that you can't ignore 90% of the global economy because it's fragmented. You have to be clever and find a way to aggregate it and serve it. And that's what Braidio did. Having said that, I'm sure my product team would go crazy if I didn't say, look, it's a tool set. We have a container. You're 90% done, no matter what, if you're an enterprise. So we do licenses to big companies, not just service providers, but big partners that could also use it in their ecosystem. But we find that our market is very much broken up into big enterprise, which has thousands of customers, or small, medium-sized enterprise customers. And so we do both. Hope that gives you an answer.
Yeah. And I love the idea of white labeling and branding and customizing, because finished apps are great and necessary. And I love my Slack and other tools out of the box, but everyone wants something unique to them, or differentiated, or customized to a particular business communications workflow. And it looks like with your platform as a service and partnerships, you can do that as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, they say vanity sells, and it's not that it's vanity, but why would I invest in something that I engage with my customers with Slack's brand on it? It's not what I want. I want my brand, my names, my team. I want my about my business, and that's what we let them do. But we also do it at scale. So we're partnering with some vet businesses where they have thousands of vets. So what do they want their brand, but each individual vet has their own little mini franchise that works into a bigger company. So we can roll it up. So we can white label an individual. We can white label a network of veterinarians, and we can white label one large company. It doesn't matter to us. It's just a white label. But that ability to customize it and contextualize it is really important, including putting your own WhatsApp number in it, your own contact information, your own weight. You can buy your own 1-800 number. So, but remember, it's not just us having a chat like we're doing now. You got to schedule. We found that of all the fancy technologies, it's just the act of scheduling is a big deal. Setting up a calendar and knowing when you're gonna meet and talk, and then the rest is just: do I get pinged in an SMS, text? Can I track a history of the conversation? Yeah, all of that. It starts with scheduling. It starts with creating a really cool interface in 90 seconds, then scheduling, and then you can have a conversation, and then the tracking of the history of the conversations. You string that together, guess what? You're engaged. You're talking to your customers. You're with your brand. You control it, and it's very inexpensive. So,
yeah, I love you talk about inexpensive, because it's fine. People like me who spend hundreds of dollars on different communication services, and I have a budget for that. But parts of the world are paying pennies or dollars a day for broadband. In India or Central Europe and the Middle East. And those are not just underserved, they're not served by a lot of communication services. So they go to freemium things like WhatsApp or free, social media messaging products. So it sounds like for the first time, some of those markets are going to have apps and services from their mobile carriers that actually scale down to where they are price-wise.
Yeah, it's funny. We met with the senior management, the executive teams at EAND, which is like meeting with the senior executive team at AT&T. And of course, they're smart guys, they're telcos. And they was convinced, okay, what are you charging? This guy could go and get a website built in India. And we said, we charge 99 cents a month just to test it. And they went dead quiet. They just went, oh. He said, well, that's disruptive. I said, yeah. I said, now, we're not going to exactly charge that, but we got 400,000 users, small businesses, and that's without even trying. And we went, okay, stop, time out. Let's get this. We let the genie out of the bottle. Let's put the thing back in. And now it'll be between $3, $6, and $9. And it's based on number of users you have and types of services. It's very inexpensive. This part of the world, it'll be between $20 and $60. And what's the difference? 5 people versus one person. And if you have 5 people in your small company, you can all have access to it. You all have seats. If you stop and multiply that by 5 people having a Wix or a website builder, 5 people having communications, you're in the hundreds of dollars. So we just wanted to make it very cost effective, and that's how we did it. And we partner with, so if we white label with AT&T, they would get a piece, they'll share. So would the big enterprise partner we might have, and so will Braidio, and so will other services. There's so many small businesses. When you're talking about 90% of the global economy, if you work with our ecosystem and our partners, everyone wins, including the small business. If you're going to start trying to gouge small business, you're not going to win. What you want to do is work with them, be cost effective, make it a system that can scale easily and use easily. And part of scale is cost. And so we approach cost in that part, in the other parts of the world, and cost here to be very, very, very effective.
But I
approaching
love
it.
how you built as a platform voice and video. You built it in as a platform. It's not an afterthought, or it's not missing like many of the website builders are. I mean, you have click to call, and you
Yeah,
have voice calls and video calls built in. Hasn't that been missing by a lot of the small business
yeah,
solutions? People
again,
still like to call. They still would
yeah.
call someone and talk to a real person, right?
It's fragmented, right? So it's
Yeah.
always like, even if you're website builder, what we call a web presence builder, you still got to get a scheduling, you got to get a calendar, you got to get communications tools. So one of the advantages of partnering with mobile service providers, carriers, is, boy, you got a lot of communication tools at your hands. And so what we did is we integrated everything into the user experience, what we call the workflow. So it's natural to it. You can have a chat like we're talking now. You can have a quick chat. You can even have AI chat. So, it'll respond to your customers, what they call a contextual commerce or conversational commerce. We can put in all those AI robots right down to real chat, to real conversations. It's all just tools. And we braid them in, and we make a nice user experience around it. Then, of course, the other thing we do is we integrate it into the calendar. So if you and I make a call for, I don't know, 9 a.m. on next week, on a Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific time, it will notify both of us. The system will automatically say
Oh,
you have a call, send you a text. That's what you need, because how are you going to handle it if you just got 3 people in your company? Or even if you got 50 people doing lots of different things, right? So in fact, sometimes as you go up in staff, you get less bandwidth, because they're all doing different things. So we've automated those processes. And then it's got your brand on it. I'm not going to Ian's website and I'm Evan. I'm going to Evan's website and I'm Evan. So meaning that I'm your customer, I can go to your brand, not my brand, and that's
I love it.
important. Yeah,
Fantastic. Well, congratulations on all the success.
thank you.
Remind us where you are. How hot is it where you are? Are you in some hot place, or are you in a cooler
It
arena?
seems like every place in the globe. I was looking at the map this morning. We are in the Bay Area, but I mean, the best thing I could say, we are based in the Bay Area in San Francisco. Well, it's actually San Francisco is fine, but we have developers all around Marin County, East Bay, South Bay. But by and large, we're in the cloud. So I have folks all over the world, but we're based, and back east, but in the United States. But we're based in the Bay Area. Heat wise, because we're right next to the ocean, we're not too bad. But it's a hot place in California. But I'm looking at some of the maps for the Midwest. It's really hot. So, but
Yeah, yeah.
we're okay. And we're at www.braidio.com, and you'll see the small business essentials there, and you can go and sign up. It's very inexpensive and it's very powerful. We've got people to help you onboard, get on board, use the system if you have questions. And, we're excited to have you. And the best thing is it says powered by AT&T on it as well. So powered by eAnd or Vonage if you're in that part of the world. And that means something. It means you have insurance. It's not just us. It's some partners. It's an ecosystem you're working with. And that's a good thing. And, when we built this, we wanted to have the mobile service providers involved. One, they had something to win here, their customers, and keep them happy. And two, when you're a small business, you don't have the time to get into contracts 24/7. You just want to make sure it works. And this is how we did it.
And finally, we have another great killer app for 5G, which everyone's been shouting for.
Right.
So congratulations on all the
Thank
success. Onwards and upwards, and we'll be watching you on the Twitters and the LinkedIns this summer, seeing your progress. So thanks for sharing your time and your insights, Ian. Much appreciated.
I appreciate it, Evan. I appreciate you walking me through it, because it's weird when you're just staring at your little self in the monitor and you think, okay, but it was actually great. It's fun. We're having fun with it. And I don't mean that in a trivial way. And then we realize we're doing something that's important for people, and we're doing it in a way that people can really use. So I appreciate your time.
And I've signed up. I can't wait to dive in. I've signed up, and I'm excited to share my thoughts as well. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
And send them on, because we keep tuning the product. So let us know. Thank you, man. Thank you, Evan. Take care.
I'm ready. I'm ready. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.